Hello world, welcome back to Content on Content, where we review the internet. Today I got a spicy one for you. We're off the usual reactions of open house. Don't worry, I've got some more good content on that for you coming. This one is with regards to a Piers Morgan interview where he had a feminist on, Ava Santina, who basically was on the show debating with an anti-feminist. Great TV, great TV. So I thought I would review this. I actually do follow Hannah Powell, Hannah Pearl Davis. She's known as just Pearly Things. I watch her podcast, agree with some of the points, disagree with some, but it's all interesting conversation. And good to debate, I think. Anyway, let's get straight into this one. Like I said, I do follow just Pearly Things. I think she's, without meaning to sound controversial, there's a couple of other male podcasts, and she seems to have basically taken the same theme and ran with it. And is fully successful with it as well. So shout out to her. Shout out to Fresh&Fit. Sorry, I have to throw that out there because I think I notice a lot of the sort of narratives and conversations that she has are based on stuff that they discuss. I think the difference is one, she's a young lady, so it comes across a little bit more palatable. And two, when you watch the Fresh&Fit, that channel's more catered for men's improvement. So obviously, man to man, they're a little bit more harsh. But then obviously, because he talks in the same tone across the board, obviously, I keep saying obviously, but in some cases, how you say something is more important than the message. Answers on a postcard. Let's get into this one anyway.
Pearl Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate, so she tapped.
Is that high praise or not? Will she take it as a compliment or not? Let's see.
Into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
Ooh, spicy. This is spicy. I told you people, you need to come to my channel for the spicy content. I'm all over this stuff. In fact, actually had a debate with someone in close proximity who ended up getting quite triggered by some of the views that I had to share. A young lady. I'm not going to shout her out. I'm not going to do that. But needless to say, some of the points that come up, I've argued. Not necessarily on this particular reaction, but on some Fresh&Fit stuff that I have apparently been brainwashed by. But when you look at the statistics, irrefutable. Let's get into this. Let's continue.
Okay, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava Santina, who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you would be called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Worth a shot.
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know,
Ooh, controversial. Oh my God. I can literally hear some ladies screaming at the TV right now, or tablet, or phone, whatever you happen to be subscribed to my channel on and watching, whatever the device is that you're subscribed on the channel, iPad, iPhone, they all got the button now. I've added a button.
Fan of Andrew Tate.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about, but overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly.
Answers on a postcard. Is Andrew Tate good for young men, or as the media are portraying, I think that's the word, he's negatively impacting the next generation of fellas coming up?
Which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive.
Okay, let me just start off by saying I'm not agreeing that women's vote should be taken away from them, okay? Let me just get that clear from the outset. So some views I think are just kind of extreme, but I'm also happy to listen to a debate without getting triggered. Just saying.
Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well, what happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't figure out, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true.
At
You look it up.
the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
I mean, that's what they say, but, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. Before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
But what's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility. Again, men are 80 to 90% of the military. They run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have two votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about...
No, do you know...
Ooh. See, you could argue that I think how a sentence is basically constructed can make such a massive difference, can't it? If you say, take away the woman's vote, and then you have a completely different statement which goes along the lines of, I think we should have one vote per household. Isn't that two different things? Because you could argue, right, households that have two people in it, cohabiting, married, etc., the one vote's between them. So could you not argue that we're taking the man's vote away? See what I mean? It's all semantics.
I
know.
It's just sort of a bit galaxy brain. I feel like, the stats that you're putting down are perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back...
What?
See, I'm sorry to pick on the feminist, right? But she starts off by saying the stats add up in some universe, but then they don't stack up. Let's just go back.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take... down are perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the
How can they be perhaps correct, although she was being sarcastic because she said in some universe, but then they don't add up? Isn't that like a, what do you call it, an oxymoron?
to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean, at
Allegedly.
That bitch.
Ooh, shots fired. The writings you've allegedly read. And Pearl jumped straight on it. She's like, you trying to say I'm lying? Oh, spicy already. Let's go back.
Just to take you back to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean, at
Allegedly?
The time,
What do you mean allegedly?
At the time that you're talking about, you know, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were.
Write.
Yes, they
So
were. That's
actually,
incorrect. The first
okay,
female
what year are we
property. The
talking
first
about?
female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
I'm so sorry, but that would be inherited property.
The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
No, it wasn't. It was self-made.
It
Yes,
was
it was.
self-made.
Yes, it
And
was.
she never inherited land.
Yes, she did not
And what law
inherit it.
permitted that?
What?
What law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in
let's
history.
let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, you know, a part of your message, I've researched you today, and hang on a minute.
Okay.
You know, your big push is that you care about men and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
Well, I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't
I care
made
about
the
women
point
too,
yet. Because of feminism, okay? What I wonder is when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote. How is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives. They have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers. And they turn around, they don't know how to act around women because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call.
What do you mean by that?
Ooh, okay. Now, I think that's a bit of a jump. But let's continue. It's getting spicy already, isn't it?
Misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men
think
do
that's what
all of
most
that.
feminists are
Well,
saying.
then okay, I'd love for the feminists. Please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society.
Why
They're
don't you
open.
go and
They're
work there?
hiring because I don't equate for. I don't think men or women are equal until we do the
Right.
equal work. So no. Listen. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber. Go be an electrician. Go be on the front lines of the military. And then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well,
Oh, if looks could kill, Pearl would be, you know, needing some clear.
I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely
That's
not.
a bit-
You said you were a volleyball.
Wow.
You said you were a volleyball player.
Oh, yo. You see what? This is, I think, an example even, if you can pronounce words. A very good example of arguing in really bad faith, like insults, just derogatory statements, like, oh, I'm not built for that, but you might be. Look, I've actually paused it on quite a good part where you can see that Pearl's a bigger set woman. She's still dressed conservatively. You could argue more conservatively than the feminist.
He does have a point.
I'm gonna take your
man.
right away to
I don't
do
have
it.
I don't have more strength than the average man, but again, it goes back to go be a plumber. You want to be equal, go be equal.
But you want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for.
Okay, now she's gonna go in now, so let me warn you. This may trigger a few people. I'm talking males and females alike, especially if it's something that you've kind of gone through. So
For better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But feminists have ruined marriage for the people that actually believe in marriage.
How?
When there's a 50% divorce rate, and the average marriage
Why is that all
8
down to the
years.
women, though?
I didn't say that it was all down to the women.
So why
But
feminists ruin it?
you asked why I want divorce to be banned.
Yeah.
Can I finish
Yeah.
that first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in
Spitting.
sickness and in health, till death do us
But
part.
doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin, so you wouldn't be able to get married?
Oh, hell no.
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, then I just think that you're upholding standards that you don't actually live by.
You see Piers' face. He is funny. Do you know what? I know he's a bit like Marmite, isn't he, Piers Morgan? It's like you either love him or you hate him. I think he does quite a good job. Do I agree with all of his views? No. Do I actually like his style of interviewing and being controversial? A little bit, I'm not going to lie. And actually, he can play devil's advocate quite well. I think you'll see what I mean. Might have had a sneak peek at this one already.
That's a fair complaint. I wish I was. But, we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
Oh, hold on. Sounded like Pearl just took accountability there. Says, actually, no, I'm not. And actually, I wish I could take it back. And be a virgin. Oh, let's run that back.
You're upholding standards that you don't actually live by.
And that's a fair complaint. I wish I was. But, we can't go back. I don't know what you want me to say.
But I just don't think it's fair that you get to be here and you get to be paid for your views, and you're telling other women that they shouldn't be allowed to.
I think.
And they should abide by
Hang on. Okay, if I may, at some stage jump in. Isn't the whole point of being a feminist, though, that women are entitled to have their own views?
Absolutely.
So she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but
Ooh, see, I told you. Here's devil's advocate, and she kind of had to pump her brakes a little bit, innit? She was like, oh, I don't think it's fair that you say this and you say that. Isn't it like everybody's got a right to their own opinion, and as a feminist, then even more so, a young lady should be able to express her views. Just because the views don't actually align with what you think in your, thought process, ideologies, etc., does that mean that, you should be, silenced?
Feminists, though, that women are entitled to have their own views.
absolutely. And
So she's perfectly entitled to her views.
Yeah, but you can't.
You might not like them.
But I'm here to
But
challenge
isn't she
them.
exercising her right as a... Are you a feminist?
Oh, hell no.
No, I am not.
Really?
No, I wouldn't. Don't go that far.
You don't want to be a feminist?
No, because I think if feminists really believed in equality, but you guys don't, I would love for you. There is an oil rig hiring. There is an engineering
I would actually
firm
love to see
hiring.
Ava Santina on an oil rig.
No, seriously. There is a building being built next to my building. Go do it, feminists. Go do it. And me,
Paul,
I'm
doing
saying
the same job that I'm doing right now.
When you find the man you want to get married to, are you saying you will be with that man whatever happens the rest of your life?
yes, for the vows that we're supposed to live.
How do you know you can keep them?
I mean, I think it's a choice. And that's the thing, women are so willing to leave marriages because they're not happy.
That's right.
This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it.
Oh, my.
Ooh, look at the face on her. Ooh, now, there was an expression I heard back in the day. Obviously not that long ago. I'm not that old.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap. No bullshit, bro.
And it goes a little something like, he looks like she swallowed a wasp. I think this right here, hold on, this right here is the perfect picture. You can create a meme and say, the lady who swallowed a wasp. Look at it. Let's go back. Let's run it back. Worth it.
Because they're not happy. This is not about happiness. The most important thing is the children. And the problem is we have a modern society where it's me, my feelings, leave when I feel like it, instead of doing what's best for the kids.
Ava, I've got to say, it's a little like listening to Andrew Tate, where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I hear things like that, I think there'll be a lot of people, especially older generation women perhaps, who think, you know what?
You see how Piers is clever? He's so clever, right? He's not like, oh, there's some stuff that I disagree with and there's stuff that I agree with. He'll go, you know, there's some stuff that I don't agree with, like the vote stuff. And I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a touchy ground there, I think. I don't agree, but in terms of like the household, then it's still split between men and women. It's an interesting debate. I'm not going to get into that now. But he's like, but some of the points, and he referenced Andrew Tate, big shout to him. Sorry, I know I'm going to probably get cussed for that, but whatever. Again, agree with a lot of his points and some I don't. But isn't it about opinions? Is it like we have to ridicule someone just because we don't agree with what they say? Like 100%. Are you going to 100% agree with everyone all of the time? No. So, I don't know. I find it quite interesting. But yeah, going back to Piers, what he did, he was like, I don't agree on some points, like the vote, for example. And it's a little bit like listening to Andrew Tate, where some points I find I don't agree with, and other points I'm like, I think if you asked such and such, he won't directly say, oh, I agree with some points and not with others. He'll kind of like switch it and say, oh, probably these other people would agree with it. Watch and see how he does it. Bit sly and smooth with it.
Kids.
Ava, I've got to say, it's a little like listening to Andrew Tate, where some of it I really don't agree with. I don't agree with the vote stuff. When I hear things like that, I think there'll be a lot of people, especially older generation women perhaps, who think, you know what, she's got a point.
Well, I mean, I believe in agency, so I think that if a woman is going to look after her children during divorce, that's absolutely fine. I also believe in your right to speak your mind about it. What I don't understand...
I'd like to
what
say,
I don't
even
understand,
before the 1920s,
do you know what I mean?
women
She totally ignored me.
could speak openly. This idea that like women couldn't talk the last 500 years, there have been women
I know,
throughout
but the
history
American state
that have
education
been-
system has
that
failed before, and it's failing now.
There have been women throughout history that have read, written, and
one thing I would say on this, you know what? I'm just going to say it. Shout out to Pearl, because she's come at least, you know, armed with some facts, some reading, allegedly, lol. But the other one is more interested in trying to snipe her down, you know, like these little underhand comments. So, you know, we know the American education system's failed before, and oh, it looks like it's failing again. Basically, indirectly saying you're stupid. But, you know, who's the one spitting facts?
there have been women throughout history that have read, written, and been very influential in society.
Okay.
So this idea like women could never do it.
Do you know what
believe
what
it.
I don't understand though is when it gets spiteful, okay? Because you put down a few arguments that I think are perfectly, like, you know, they're kind of
Oh my
evangelical
God,
and
I
they're
didn't
Christian.
even,
Those are
hold
your
on,
rights.
hold on. What I don't understand is when it becomes spiteful. Is she not hearing the stuff she's saying? Do you know what? I watch a lot of podcasts and I see this mentality a lot. They say snipey stuff. When they get called out or they get a little bit of pressure back, it all blows up. I think if this interview went on any longer, it would have got real spicy, like real spicy.
I don't understand though is when it gets spiteful, okay? Because you put down a few arguments that I think are perfectly, like, you know, they're kind of evangelical and they're Christian, but those are your right to say it. What I don't understand is when it kind of seeps into this sort of, you call women fat, you say that they shouldn't have abortions, you say that they have STDs. You know,
I mean, the question is, are they fat? Yes or no? The average American.
Lol. This is another subject that comes up quite often on Fresh and Fit. It's like, the world's become soft. You can't call out people on their bullshit anymore. Men and women. More so women, I'm not going to lie. If a guy's fat, one of my boys is fat or gaining weight, I'm going to be like, yo, Moses, you're packing on some pounds there, man. Like, get back in the gym. What are you doing? And vice versa, because that's how we communicate quite directly. And sometimes when speaking to the fairer sex, you have to kind of sugarcoat things. And an example that was given when I was watching the Fresh and Fit, sorry, just to keep referencing them, but sorry, they're my boys. Sorry, not sorry. He said, women are very much focused on how you say things. So if I say 1 + 1 is 2 versus 1 + 1 is fucking 2, does it change the fact the answer is still 2?
That was good. That was good.
I like this guy.
Sort of, you call women fat, you say that they shouldn't have abortions, you say that they have STDs. You know,
I mean, the question is, are they fat? Yes or no? The average American woman is 170 pounds. That's objectively overweight.
I mean, let's be honest. We now celebrate morbid obesity as some kind of body positive thing, and it is complete nonsense. So actually, on that point again,
Facts. I was having this conversation recently, and I said, men don't get positive reinforcement for being overweight, and nor should they. But women do. Plus size models, love your curves, girl. Nah, get to the gym, fam. Allow it.
again, there's a bit of truth in
And
that.
this is the problem.
How have we come to celebrate morbid obesity as body positive?
Well,
it's nonsense.
We're not talking.
Wow. It's almost like Piers got off the fence there. God damn.
About morbid obese. I was actually watching your podcast earlier, and you spoke to someone who was, I would say, probably a size 12, and you called her fat, obese, and a divorcee.
She was fat, obese, and a divorcee.
wasn't.
I mean, like, I don't know what to say. This is the thing, women, we don't want to live in reality. We don't want to say things that are true. Was she fat? Yes. Was she a divorcee? Yes. These things are just objective facts.
Okay, I'm going to have to
And
objectively...
she insulted me first. They always do.
I'm going to have to objectively end the debate, but it was an interesting conversation. I think we should get you two back together as a matter of urgency. Thank you very much, Pearl. Thank you, Ava.
Well, that was a spicy one. I did warn you guys. We will be reacting on another episode of Open House next. We will also be reacting on a Fresh and Fit clip. I've referenced them enough times, so I might as well do a reaction on them. And we can get your guys' views. Please like, please comment, please subscribe. Please let me know what you thought of this particular reaction. Do you agree with Pearl? Just Pearly things. I'm going to put a clip for her, so if you want to follow her and see some of the other content that she does, some interesting conversations and stuff goes on there. I'll also put Fresh and Fit in there as well because, you know, got the hoodie hanging up over there. I have been watching them for a little while, so yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back soon for some more reactions. Peace.